catch up with her. You felt it too, didn't you? Felt what? Mira replied, tilting her head. The change in the wind. It's different today. I think something is happening. His voice trembled with excitement. I know, Mira said. She could hear the flutter in his heart through the beat of his words. There's something out there. Together, they moved deeper into the desert while Rami excitedly shared his theories. He had been working on a device that could help Mira navigate better, a gadget that used sound waves to create an image of her surroundings. As they talked, Mira focused on the changes around her, and the peculiar whispers of the sands grew louder. After a while, they stumbled upon a large metal disc half buried in the sand. It glimmered under the harsh sun, reflecting hints of blue and silver. Rami's eyes widened behind his goggles. What is that? He whispered. As they approached, the disc emitted a soft hum, and Mira felt a vibration through her feet. I don't know, but it feels important, Mira said, reaching out to lightly touch its surface. It's warm and alive. Maybe it's part of an old ship, Rami suggested, brushing the sand away from the edges. Could it belong to the travelers from space? Mira loved stories about the stars and the travelers who came from them. She only heard them when she visited the village library. If it is, we have to find out what it does, she said, determination rising within her. Rami nodded and took a small tool from his pack, ready to investigate further. Just then, they heard a deep rumble from the sky. Mira looked up, even though she could not see, as she felt the energy shift around them. The hum of the disc grew louder, and suddenly, a small door opened on its surface with a hiss. What is happening? Rami exclaimed, stepping back slightly. I think it wants us to go inside, Mira said, the excitement pulsing through her. But we have to be careful. Together, they moved closer and stepped into the opening. Inside was a room filled with strange lights and blinking panels. Rami fumbled with the gadgets, his fingers dancing over the buttons. Look at these, he exclaimed, pointing at the glowing screens. I think it shows where we are. Mira closed her eyes and listened to the sounds of the ship. She could sense the vibrations of the controls. What do you see? She asked Rami. There are maps. And oh, there's a strange mark here. It's near our village. His voice was a mixture of fear and curiosity. Before they could react, the ship thrummed violently, and a blinding light filled the room. Mira held on to Rami tightly, feeling the energy wrap around them. In an instant, they were transported outside the ship. They stood in an entirely different part of the desert than before. The sands were purple, and the sky was filled with swirling colors. Rami looked around in awe, while Mira sensed the change in the air. It was cool and felt fresh. I've never seen anything like this, Rami shouted, and Mira could feel his excitement bubbling. As they explored their strange surroundings, they noticed that the animals here were unlike any they had seen before. Creatures with vibrant scales darted past them with impossible speed. We must be in another world, Rami said, his voice barely above a whisper. As they moved further, they met a creature that walked on two legs. It looked like a blend of a bird and a lizard. Who are you? It spoke in a melodious voice. We're Mira and Rami from Windshade. We don't know how we got here, Mira replied, feeling a mix of fear and wonder. I am Zephyr, the creature said, tilting its head. You have awakened the ship. It brings those who seek truth and adventure. But be warned, not all truths are easy to face. What do you mean? Rami asked. The desert is alive, and so is your world. A storm is coming, one that could change everything, Zephyr warned. Mira felt a shiver run down her spine. What kind of storm? A storm of memories and choices. You must decide which path to take. One path leads to knowledge, but it may cost your safety. The other leads back to your home. Mira turned to Rami. We have to help our village. Yes, we must go back, Rami agreed, though a hint of disappointment flickered across his voice. Then hurry, Zephyr urged. The route closes soon. With that, Rami pulled out the small device he had invented. We can use this to navigate back, he said, fumbling with buttons. Together, they set the device to guide them home, feeling the weight of their decision. The vibrant world began to fade, the swirling colors blending back into the familiar golden sands of the Whispering Sands. As they returned, Mira felt the warmth of the sun on her skin. They stood back at the entrance of the ship, the metal disc quietly humming now, a memory of their adventure. They looked at each other, both changed by what they had encountered. The village was still and quiet, but Mira felt a spark inside her. The world was bigger than they thought, and their adventure had just begun. With Rami at her side, she was ready to tell her story and unravel the secrets that lay buried in the desert. Together, they would keep exploring, uncovering the truth that the sands had been whispering all along. In the heart of the vast, endless desert, where sand dunes stretched like golden waves under the scorching sun, a young girl named Alara wandered with an unyielding spirit. But what set her apart from other wanderers was her blindness. Her eyes, once full of vibrant colors, were now veiled in a curtain of darkness. Yet, she navigated the treacherous terrain with an uncanny sense of direction, guided by the whispers of the wind and the subtle vibrations of the sand beneath her bare feet. Alara wasn't alone in this desolate expanse. A weathered old nomad named Omar, with his face etched with the stories of the desert, had taken her under his wing. He found her abandoned as a child near a crashed spacecraft, a relic of a forgotten civilization that once thrived in this now barren land. Omar, a man of few words, recognized a spark of resilience in Alara's eyes, a refusal to be defined by her disability. "The desert speaks to those who listen, child," Omar would often say, his voice raspy like the desert wind. "It tests your strength, but it also rewards those who persevere." And Alara listened. She learned to decipher the language of the sand, the subtle shifts in temperature that signaled an approaching sandstorm, the faintest rustling of hidden creatures beneath the dunes. Her other senses heightened, painting a vivid picture of the world around her. One day, as they traversed a particularly treacherous stretch of dunes, Alara sensed something unusual. A faint, rhythmic pulse resonated through the sand, growing stronger with each step. She stopped, her head tilted, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Omar," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you feel that?" Omar, who had been lost in his thoughts, paused and focused his senses. After a moment, his eyes widened in surprise. "Yes, child, I do. It's coming from beneath us." Curiosity piqued. They followed the pulse, their steps growing more hurried. The sand grew hotter beneath their feet, and the air crackled with an unseen energy. Finally, they reached a towering dune that seemed to hum with the same rhythmic pulse. "It's here," Alara said, her voice trembling with anticipation. "Beneath this dune." With renewed determination, they began to dig, their hands scooping away the sand. As they delved deeper, the pulse grew stronger, and a strange, metallic scent filled the air. Finally, their hands struck something hard and smooth. Brushing away the remaining sand, they uncovered a large, metallic plate, its surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to glow faintly. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before, a relic of the advanced technology that had been lost to the sands of time. "What is it, Omar?" Alara asked, her fingers tracing the strange patterns on the plate. "I don't know, child," Omar replied, his voice filled with awe. "But I believe it's a door. A door to something hidden beneath the desert." Driven by a thirst for discovery, they worked together to pry open the metallic plate. With a groan of ancient machinery, the plate swung inward, revealing a dark, gaping hole that descended into the depths of the earth. A gust of cool, stale air rushed out of the opening, carrying with it the scent of metal and something else, something indefinable that made Alara's skin tingle. "Are we going in, Omar?" Alara asked, her heart pounding with excitement and trepidation. Omar hesitated for a moment, his eyes scanning the horizon, as if searching for a sign. "Yes, child," he said finally. "We've come this far. We must see what lies beneath." With Omar leading the way, they descended into the darkness. The air grew colder and denser, and the rhythmic pulse grew louder, resonating through their bodies. As they ventured deeper, the walls of the tunnel began to glow with a soft, ethereal light, revealing intricate carvings that depicted strange creatures and advanced technology. "This place," Omar said, his voice filled with wonder. "It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's a testament to the ingenuity of those who came before us." Alara, though unable to see the carvings, could feel the energy emanating from them, a sense of ancient power and forgotten knowledge. After what seemed like an eternity, they reached a large chamber. The chamber was bathed in a soft, blue light, emanating from glowing crystals embedded in the walls. In the center of the chamber stood a large, metallic structure, its purpose unclear. As they approached the structure, a holographic image flickered to life, projecting a figure of a woman with long, flowing hair and piercing blue eyes. "Greetings, travelers," the holographic woman said, her voice echoing through the chamber. "I am the guardian of this sanctuary. You have been chosen to awaken the knowledge that lies dormant within." Alara and Omar exchanged bewildered glances. Chosen? To awaken knowledge? What did it all mean? "What knowledge?" Alara asked, her voice filled with curiosity. "The knowledge of the ancients," the holographic woman replied. "The knowledge of how to heal the land, how to restore balance to the world." "But why us?" Omar asked. "We are just simple wanderers." "Because you possess the qualities that are needed," the holographic woman said. "You, Alara, have learned to see with your heart, to perceive the world in ways that others cannot. And you, Omar, have the wisdom and the courage to guide her." The holographic woman then turned her gaze towards Alara. "Alara," she said, "you have a unique gift. You can sense the energy of the land, the life force that flows through all things. You must use this gift to awaken the ancient machines that can heal the desert." Alara, though blind, could feel the woman's gaze upon her. She closed her eyes and focused her senses, reaching out to the energy of the chamber, the energy of the desert. She felt a connection to the land, a deep understanding of its pain and its potential for healing. With newfound determination, Alara approached the metallic structure. Guided by the holographic woman, she touched a specific point on the structure, and a surge of energy coursed through her body. The chamber began to hum, and the crystals in the walls glowed brighter. Outside, the desert began to stir. Sandstorms subsided, and the barren landscape began to show signs of life. Seeds that had lain dormant for centuries began to sprout, and the air filled with the scent of blossoming flowers. Alara and Omar had awakened the ancient knowledge, and the desert was beginning to heal. Their journey had just begun, but they knew that they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For they were the chosen ones, the guardians of the desert, and they would not rest until the land was restored to its former glory.